So, you're thinking about moving to Australia? I get it. The sun, the surf, kangaroos hopping around, and the promise of a better life all sound incredibly appealing. But before you pack your bags and book that one-way ticket, let's talk about money. Because moving to Australia in 2025 might just be a financial disaster. Living costs have surged, making it harder to get ahead, and financial stability isn't guaranteed. Many people arrive with big dreams, only to find their savings disappearing faster than expected. If you're not fully prepared, the reality of life in Australia might not match the dream you envisioned. Before you make the move, it's crucial to crunch the numbers. Assess your financial stability and have a solid plan in place. In this video, we'll reveal 10 undeniable reasons why moving to Australia might just be a huge financial mistake. A better life could turn into a costly nightmare. Let's dive in. Job market isn't what you think. If you're assuming you'll land a high-paying job straight away, think again. While Australia has a strong job market in some sectors, like healthcare, trades, and IT, many industries are struggling. Even if your skills are in demand, finding the right job can take longer than expected. Visa restrictions often mean you'll need employer sponsorship, which isn't always easy to secure. Many companies prefer candidates with unrestricted work rights, making it harder for visa holders to compete. If you're on a temporary visa, your options may be even more limited, and some roles won't even consider non-citizens or permanent residents. Then there's the classic Aussie experience. You move with years of experience in your field, only to be asked, "Do you have local experience?" It's a frustrating loop that many migrants face, as employers tend to favor candidates who have already worked in Australia. Some people end up taking lower-paying or unrelated jobs just to get a foot in the door. Even with a strong work ethic and solid qualifications, securing a job isn't guaranteed. If you're moving without savings or a backup plan, the transition could be tougher than expected. Be prepared for potential delays and a lot of patience. The cost of living will make your wallet cry. Australia is expensive, like you'll pay $7 for a loaf of bread expensive. Sydney and Melbourne consistently rank among the most expensive cities in the world. But it's not just the major cities. Across the country, rent, groceries, and utilities have all skyrocketed. In 2025, with inflation still wreaking havoc, everyday expenses are only getting worse. Want to rent a tiny apartment in Sydney? That'll be $700 a week. Yes, per week. Even in smaller cities, finding affordable housing is a struggle. Groceries? Expect to spend 30–50% more than in the US or UK, with basics like fresh produce and dairy hitting wallets hard. Thinking about buying a home? Unless you've got a trust fund or a six-figure salary, good luck. Property prices remain at record highs, and interest rates aren't exactly friendly. Even everyday costs like public transport, dining out, and healthcare add up fast. Many newcomers arrive expecting a higher quality of life, only to be shocked by how quickly their savings disappear. While Australia has plenty to offer, it's no paradise if you can't afford to live comfortably. Before making the move, do the math, because financial reality might be very different from the dream. Wages aren't keeping up. Sure, Australia has a decent minimum wage, around AUD 23 per hour in 2025, but that doesn't mean much when everything costs an arm and a leg. High wages might sound great on paper, but when rent, groceries, and utilities are draining your paycheck faster than you can earn it, the reality isn't so rosy. Many jobs, especially in white-collar fields, aren't seeing pay raises that keep up with inflation. Even skilled professionals are finding that their salaries don't stretch as far as they used to. If you're thinking you'll just work hard and make it up, you might be running on a hamster wheel, earning more, but never really getting ahead. For those relying on casual or gig work, the situation can be even tougher. Job competition is fierce, and without job security or benefits, financial stability can feel out of reach. Even with a strong work ethic, simply covering the basics can be a struggle. Before making the move, it's important to have a realistic view of Australia's financial landscape. A higher wage doesn't automatically mean a better life, especially if the cost of living continues to outpace earnings. Taxes are brutal. Australia's progressive tax system hits high earners hard. Earn over 45,000 Australian dollars? You're in the 32.5% tax bracket. Make more than 180,000 Australian dollars? Say hello to a 45% tax rate, and that's just income tax. Australia has plenty of other ways to take a bite out of your earnings. There's a 10% goods and services tax, GST, on most purchases, making everything from groceries to dining out even more expensive. Then there's the Medicare levy, which takes another 2% of your income. And if you're a higher earner without private health insurance, the government slaps on the Medicare levy surcharge, another 1.5%. All of this adds up quickly. While Australia offers strong public services, many expats are surprised by just how much of their paycheck disappears before they even see it. If you were hoping to save a fortune while enjoying the sun and surf, think again. Between high taxes and soaring living costs, keeping more of what you earn can feel like an uphill battle. Before making the move, it's crucial to understand the financial realities. Australia isn't shy about taking its cut, and if you're not prepared, your dream of a fresh start could turn into a costly wake-up call. The housing market is a nightmare. Remember how I said rent is high? Buying is even worse. The median house price in Sydney is hovering around 1.5 million Australian dollars in 2025, and Melbourne isn't far behind. Even smaller cities and regional areas, once considered affordable, have seen property prices surge beyond what most first-time buyers can handle. If you're a first-time buyer, the deposit alone can be soul-crushing. A standard 20% deposit on a Sydney home is around 300,000 Australian dollars, an amount that could take years, if not decades, to save. And with interest rates still relatively high, monthly mortgage repayments are eating up people's salaries faster than ever. Many Australians are stuck renting indefinitely, not by choice, but because homeownership feels completely out of reach. Even if you manage to scrape together a deposit, securing a loan can be tough, with banks tightening lending standards. The reality is, unless you're sitting on a pile of cash, have a high-income job, or come from money, the dream of homeownership in Australia might stay just that, a dream. For newcomers hoping to build a future, this is a tough pill to swallow. If buying a home is part of your long-term plan, Australia's real estate market may force you to reconsider. Healthcare costs can surprise you. Australia has a great public healthcare system, Medicare, but it's not entirely free. If you're on a temporary visa, you probably won't qualify, meaning you'll need private health insurance, which isn't cheap. Even for those who are eligible, the reality of Medicare isn't as perfect as it sounds. Bulk billing doctors, who don't charge extra fees, are becoming increasingly rare, meaning you'll often have to pay out of pocket for GP visits. Specialist appointments can come with long wait times, sometimes stretching for months. If you need elective surgery, the public system can leave you waiting indefinitely, pushing many people toward private hospitals, where you'll need private health insurance or be ready to pay hefty fees. Private health insurance is quickly becoming more of a necessity than a luxury, especially for those who want faster access to treatment. But it's not cheap, and premiums continue to rise. If you earn above a certain threshold and don't have private coverage, you'll also get hit with the Medicare levy surcharge, adding yet another financial burden. While Australia's healthcare system is strong compared to many countries, it's far from perfect. If you're moving here, don't assume medical care will be free and easy, because it's neither. Cost of moving itself is insane. Let's not forget the cost of actually moving. Flights alone can set you back thousands, especially if you're relocating with family or traveling during peak seasons. And shipping your belongings? Forget about it. Many people just sell everything and start fresh because it's cheaper than moving it overseas. Visa applications aren't free either. Depending on your visa type, you could be paying anywhere from a few hundred to several $1,000s just to get permission to live in Australia. Then there's the cost of securing a rental. Most landlords require a bond, typically 4 weeks' rent, plus a couple of weeks' rent upfront. In expensive cities like Sydney and Melbourne, that means dropping thousands before you even get the keys. Once you arrive, there are endless hidden costs: buying furniture, setting up utilities, getting a car, or even just covering daily expenses while job hunting. It all adds up fast, and if you don't have a solid financial cushion, the stress can hit hard. Moving to Australia isn't just about chasing a dream, it's a massive financial commitment. If you're not prepared for the upfront costs, you might find yourself struggling before you've even had a chance to settle in. Public transport and petrol costs are painful. If you don't live in a major city, you'll need a car. Public transport in regional areas is nearly non-existent. That means added expenses for purchasing, maintaining, and fueling a vehicle. With fuel prices hitting 2.50 Australian dollars per litre in 2025, driving isn't cheap either. It's a significant cost that many newcomers don't factor in when planning their move. Even in cities, public transport can be pricey and unreliable. Melbourne's Myki system and Sydney's Opal card both keep getting more expensive, and delays or overcrowding are common issues. While public transport in the major cities is better than in rural areas, it still doesn't always offer a convenient or affordable solution. For daily commuters or anyone living outside the city center, the cost of getting around can add up quickly. Whether you're relying on a car or public transport, getting around in Australia can be a financial burden. It's important to account for these transport costs when planning your budget, as they can significantly impact your overall living expenses. Natural disasters and climate costs. Australia isn't all sunshine and barbecues. It's also fires, floods, and heat waves. The increasing frequency of natural disasters means higher insurance premiums and unexpected costs. While the country's beautiful landscapes and outdoor lifestyle are major draws, they come with a significant downside: the risk of extreme weather events. If you're living in a disaster-prone area, good luck affording home insurance. It's skyrocketing as insurers adjust to the growing threat of climate-related events. Whether it's bushfires in the summer or heavy rainfall leading to flooding, these disasters are becoming more common and more expensive to insure against. For homeowners, this can be a serious financial strain, with premiums rising annually. Renters aren't immune either. Landlords often pass on the higher cost of insurance to tenants, further increasing living expenses. If you're in a region that's particularly vulnerable to natural disasters, it's essential to factor these higher insurance costs into your budget. Australia's stunning beauty comes with inherent risks, and those risks can be costly. If you're moving here, it's important to consider the financial impact of living in an area prone to these extreme events. The Aussie dollar ain't what it used to be. The Australian dollar has been struggling, and while that might be good for tourists, it's not great for expats trying to send money home or keep up with global investments. If you're earning in Australian dollars but have financial ties elsewhere, you might find yourself at a disadvantage. With the Australian dollar's volatility, it can be harder to send money abroad without incurring hefty exchange rate losses or fees. For those who have investments, savings, or financial obligations in other currencies, the weaker Australian dollar means their money doesn't go as far as it used to. If you're transferring funds to family, paying off debts, or investing in markets outside of Australia, currency fluctuations could eat into your financial plans. Additionally, the cost of living in Australia might feel more pronounced when the value of your income is lower compared to other global currencies. The strength of the Australian dollar is something to consider if you're moving to Australia, especially if you have financial ties abroad. A weak currency could make international transactions more expensive and complicate your financial strategy. Australia is a great place if you can afford it. But if you're moving here thinking it'll be some financial paradise, think again. Costs are up, wages aren't keeping pace, and the barriers to entry, visa costs, housing, taxes, are tougher than ever. So, before you sell everything and hop on a plane, do the math. If it still makes sense, great. But if not, maybe reconsider, because the lucky country might not be so lucky for your bank account in 2025. Thanks for watching. So, do you still think Australia is your dream destination? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video. See you in the next one.